Today's mug moment is from Matthew 15, 7 through 9. Jesus is speaking. You hypocrites! Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are but rules taught by men. Over the next few days, we are going to be looking at a teaching from Christ about what makes a person unclean and what makes them clean. We are also going to look at the time when the Jews were captured and transported to Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar in 586 BC. At this time, they were no longer able to participate in the daily worship as prescribed by God, and instead of the daily sacrifices and other worship requirements found in the law of God, they began to develop other practices such as this one. You should wash your hands before you eat. Well, you may consider that a good practice, but you will probably never hear a sermon preached on it since it cannot be found in the Bible anywhere. This practice and others, especially rules about the Sabbath, replaced God's law, since they could no longer participate in that worship as it required the temple priest, articles to be placed in the temple, and the like. However, when they returned and the temple was rebuilt, they did not get rid of these rules. These rules were called the oral law. These rules were made by men rather than by God and existed even before the captivity. God's law contained a spirit of worship that the Jews, who were being punished, could have continued in. Instead, God's law was being replaced by rules made by man. Our worship of God needs to be in spirit and in truth rather than in man-made rules. We have to be careful or we can fall into the same trap. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Often this phrase has been applied to biblical sources. However, it was probably used in a sense of parishioners in church centuries ago who smelled badly, being offensive to those sitting next to them. Actually, a little bit of dirt never hurt anyone. Worship God and not rules. More on this tomorrow. Go in Christ.